A show for the fans, by the fans. Talking all things Cleveland Browns. From our mic to your ears. With your hosts, Jason Hand, Mikey P, and Ian Cold Train Coldiron.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Yes, and now you are in the yard. Welcome to the Yard Dawgs Podcast, a show for the fans, by the fans. This is season 4, episode 145. I am your host, Mikey P. The Yard Dawgs Podcast is brought to you by Network 216. Just make sure you are checking out our Ohio sports content. Subscribe to our Network 216 YouTube channel. And, of course, joining me tonight in the new year is my co-host, the one, the only, Mr. Cold Train. How we doing tonight, buddy?
Feeling good, man. Good Christmas holiday, good New Year's. Hope everyone had a safe holiday that watches and tunes into our show. Thanks for watching it for sure right off the rip. But hope everyone had a good holiday. Hopefully everyone's slowly getting back to work. I know I went back to work today, so hopefully everyone's getting acclimated back into their normal stations and everything gets back to normal. Yeah, I myself, I love the holidays, Mikey, but man, am I glad they're done. You know, no gifts anymore, nothing looming over your head, like kind of like a free spirit. And then we're getting into obviously postseason for NFL. So just some exciting times, man, for us and the Browns and everything.
Yeah, it's a weird time of year. I always it feels like the gambit kind of starts in October. You got Halloween, then you go into Thanksgiving, then you get ready for Christmas, and you got New Year's, and then it feels like after that it's kind of like it's a little boring, but at least we have football to keep us hold it over. We missed you guys. We weren't on last week. We were both celebrating the holidays with our families. Hope you had a good Christmas too, everybody, and a happy New Year, of course. We're in the year 2024. There was some pretty good football on yesterday, some pretty good college games. I thought the playoff games were both well played. Both games came down to the final play. So, I mean,
yeah, can't ask for
much. Of course, we're all hoping that UW, the Washington Huskies, can beat Michigan next week. I hate there's no other team that I hate more than the Pittsburgh Steelers than the Michigan Wolverines. And for me, it's not even the team, like the players, because some of the players they've had I've liked or wondered when they went pro. It's not even some of the players, but it's the fans, man. Some of their fans are just arrogant and annoying and just don't stop. And that's for me. But speaking of New Year's traditions, though, what kind of food do you ingest on New Year's? Did you get into any good stuff on New Year's food-wise?
For me, I always, even back to my younger years, cold iron tradition, Chinese on New Year's Eve, baby, always.
Okay.
Chinese and, just some takeout. I don't like to go in. It's usually packed, but just a family tradition. And I kind of brought that into my family here with my daughter and my wife here. We actually just got Chinese takeout. I don't know, something about a wonton soup and a Hunan chicken or Szechuan chicken, whatever, something about that on New Year's for me. But yeah, I'm interested. Do you do anything special with your family? Everyone seems to have their own traditions. You got anything you guys do over there?
New Year's Eve, nothing special. We've had, like festivities or partaked in food with like kind of party style food before, but we didn't do anything this year. We pretty much laid around, watched football. New Year's Day, we always have a tradition. Like we always have cabbage and black eyed peas, or what we call Hoppin' John. So yesterday we had some beef tenderloin, some cabbage, and some black eyed peas with some bread. That was good. For dinner Sunday night for New Year's, though, we had pizza. Like I've gotten into making my own pizza lately, and there's this dough you can make. Like it comes in a bag, and you get to like let it form and sort it out. But the dough tastes really good, and put a little bit of Thai season on it. and the crust comes out really tasty. And I just like making my own pizza. I can put the amount of pepperoni on it I want. I can put the amount of cheese I want on it. And it always comes out good. My wife does pretty good at making it in the oven. So I've gotten into making my own pizza lately other than paying for it. So that's kind of what we did this year.
You know, it's
Were
funny.
You up till midnight?
What's that?
Did you make it till midnight? I didn't.
No, dude, 11:30, or I think it was 11:30. We weren't even trying to stay up for New Year's. I think we were watching a movie. And I just said, "Well, how do you want to stay up for the for the ball drop?" Just like, no, let's just get some sleep. It just gets to the point where it's not that I don't like the holiday. It's just like, when you're a family man, it's a little bit different. We got the 2-year-old and all that, so she, obviously she's sleeping like a baby, and then you don't really do, like I said, I don't really do too much on New Year's Eve. I'm not living that life. I'm actually glad I'm out of the bars in that situation. I'm glad I'm back, at the home life and don't have to worry about stuff like that. But yeah, the main thing I do is just eat some Chinese takeout, dude. Hopefully watch some good bowl games, and I agree with you though. Had some good football games on yesterday. I'll recap that college weekend. For me, I don't know about you, Mikey, but I just questioned that last play call for Alabama. Nick Saban, very interesting play draw there. For me, it was like a battering ram. Like the dude ran into a brick wall. Like, what were you doing? Like, I would have liked a little bit of, drop back, evaluate. It just seemed like they were like so pumped to bust this out, but no one blocked.
Well, it would have worked if you go back and rewatch it, because I didn't realize this till somebody said it. Like, and I rewatched it and slowed it down. The running back, it was a design RPO, and I think it's the running back or the tight end is split out, goes out wide. So it's designed where Milroe's got the option. He's either going to hand it off, keep it himself, or he's got the pass out of the backfield option. The guy was wide open, or would have been wide open, but the snap just screwed the play all up, just ruined the play. Like, the snap was so bad, and I think it was, that internal clock of his was just ticking, and he was just like, F it, just took off to try to see what he could do. I mean, so had it not been for a bad snap, they might have been able to tie the game, but hats off to Michigan. I mean, their defensive line and offensive line, as in most games this year, controlled the line of scrimmage, and that's what it's all about. When Blake Corum needed a big play, he was there for him, and as annoying as it is, like they just kind of seem to have that little bit of magic this year. But Washington also has that magic. They've been in some close games too, two with Oregon, and then one with Texas last night. And Michael Penix came up big when he needed to, and their defense did too also well. So I think it's going to be a good national championship. Usually on a short week, like, you never know, like, because they play them next Monday. So not a ton of preparation time for two teams that have not played each other very much. Ironically, though, it's going to be a matchup of a Big Ten team and a future Big Ten team as Washington joins the Big Ten next year. So should be interesting.
Ooh, wow, that's going to be tough then, man. That's going to be a tough it's getting tougher and tougher, dude. I mean, I don't know if it's SEC level, but it's getting up there for sure.
I mean, we're going to have Oregon in the Big Ten next year, Washington. I'm trying to think who else is going in the Big Ten. There's more. USC.
Yeah, let me tame to these wild beasts, man. We're in the yard here. Sorry. I'm trying to get these donkeys out of the yard, man.
But speaking of dogs, this is what MC Lawrence said. I agree with you, MC. Happy New Year's to you, buddy, too, also. My dogs hate New Year's, 4th of July, Memorial Day. They cannot stand fireworks, yet they go off every one of those holidays, and they're usually hiding under the bed somewhere or at the foot of the bed, but they cannot stand it.
Alrighty. Sorry about that. It gets loud in here, man. It's,
But
Yard Dogs, man.
I know.
Bring your dogs. MC's got his dog. Everyone just bring your dogs
That's
along.
right.
That's what it
That's
is.
right. And we got Coltrane's wearing his shirt. I just got my shirt in the mail, so it's the new
Denzel
homage
right
Denzel shirt. So if you haven't seen that one, check it out. And of course, Yard Dogs and Network 216, we are proud partners with Homage, the apparel company. If you haven't tried them yet, though, you are missing out. Homage is always coming out with on-point, cutting-edge sports apparel. Showing support for your team doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg. As a bonus, of course, you will get bonus discounts using our link to shop at Homage. Support the show and do it in style by shopping for all your favorite sports team gear at Homage. Just make sure you check the link on our Twitter page at Yard Dawgs Pod, and at Network 216 also has the link for Homage. I mean, they're coming out with cool stuff all the time. They've done some pair ups on shirts with they have the angry runs that Kyle Brandt is pushing with David Njoku. They have the shirt that just came out, the Denzel shirt. Wow, what does it say again? I'm always trying to remember. It's
Make them know your name.
Make them know your name.
Yep. Yeah, I had to get this Denzel when I saw this available. You know what else I've been rocking out? I was going to bring it down, but I forgot it upstairs. I got that. Did you end up getting that coat for Christmas, the black coat?
I did. I didn't get it for Christmas. I ended up getting a sweatshirt.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that coat, Mikey, I'm not going to lie, I've worn every day since Christmas. You can ask my wife.
Oh, yeah. I was seeing your photos.
Yeah,
I was seeing your photos on your socials.
I'm one of those. Yeah, I'm one of those fans where I say, like, if they lose, like, I look ridiculous, But like, man, when they're winning, I'm proud, bro.
Man.
I walk in to pick up my General Tso's chicken for lunch. I make sure they know I'm here. We're here.
I tell you what. It's fun because, usually I wear my Brown stuff, and past years it's been like, oh, I'm sorry. But this year, like, oh, man, you guys are kicking butt. You're kicking, like, you get that. And I'm like, yeah, man, I like this. Yeah. I like this. And then hopefully it'll flip one year where we'll become the team that's like, God, I hate them. Like, they're always winning. It's so annoying. Give me that.
Yeah.
Give me that for sure.
Yeah, people just look at me like, and that's okay, bro. It'll rub off on them, but eventually, over time, they'll know. They'll understand we're good. I mean, it's almost like Browns fans know we're here, but it's going to take the world a couple of years probably to like fully understand we're back.
What I'm saying? For
like,
sure.
We're back, but they'll never understand, anyways, man. But like I said, it's a good time to get homage. I guess my point, the moral of the story was, like I said, can't get enough of that black coat. Did you know it had a secret insignia, no alcohol allowed Muni Lot? Did you know of that patch on the inside of it, man?
That's funny.
Yeah, pretty sick, dude. No alcohol allowed Muni Lot patch, bro. It's sick. And it's got one of those inside pockets, dude. You can put all your value, like if you're worried about getting pickpocketed on the street, whatever. Like me, like sometimes if obviously I was traveling, in this outside the city, throw your wallet in there. No one's grabbing that, man. Nobody wants a Browns coat, but besides us, anyways, man. So they'll lay off.
Didn't they try to ban alcohol from the Muni Lot one time, or they were talking about trying to do that?
Every year. Every year they send the channel. Every year it's a news article that no alcohol allowed.
Yeah,
it's like the biggest like April Fools or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like it can't be taken serious.
It's a joke. At this point, it's just comedy. It's a joke. It's almost like, do you remember on Def Comedy Jam when they would always bring Russell Simmons up at the end? And he was like, "Hey, Russell, send us out, say something special." And they always say, "Thank you for coming out. God bless. Good night." He said the same thing over and over. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Like, they just put the message out, but it's never going to change. Like, it's not changing.
Yeah. I gotcha.
But it was a big week last week. Thursday night, Amazon Prime, Jets at Browns. Browns wore the all white throwbacks for the final time this year. Coltrane, you were watching the game in a place you normally don't watch. You want to tell us a little bit about like your viewing experience?
Yeah, I went to Milwaukee to see my cousin, and we made the flights and God, I'm a diehard Browns fan, but it wasn't on my mind that during that time would be, probably almost the best primetime game to go to, at the stadium. So whoever got our seats, bless your hearts. I'm sure you had a banging time. But no, we went to a bar in Milwaukee, Browns backer bar. God, what was the name of it now? Oh, now I'm drawing a blank. Broad House had some good wings. There was probably about 50 to 60 of us, in this place. And I'll be honest, man, I don't know about you guys out there watching. I was nervous, man. I had a really bad feeling. And I told you, it's that PTSD, man. I just have PTSD from even if we're playing a bum, I'm just like, dude, it's like Sally just knows how to beat us or whatever. Every time he comes here, he's pulling something out of his butt. I just had a bad feeling, man. But once that first drive happened, I'm sure many of us Browns fans, I was like, all right, the whole crowd was getting into it. It was like, all right, dude. And it was just like that first half, obviously, was like the best half ever. Especially, to start off like that. That's how I think all of us fans wanted to see it, start out. But it was like any Browns backer bar. They had a Great Lakes rep there too, so there was Christmas ale, couple of their favorites. They had a couple of raffles. Nothing like yours though, man. I'll be honest with you. You've talked your backer bar up so high. Not that I wasn't impressed. It just was it wasn't, at least that one time where you said the one Jason went to, man, those prizes I would love to that's a raffle. That's like a grand drawing. You know what I mean? That's what I thought would be at something like this.
Oh yeah. He won at our end of the year party, which is a little different. Raffles are going to be a little bigger because that's the time everyone comes and shows up. We do raffle prizes weekly, but it's you're probably talking about max money wise, probably $20-$30 investment in your prizes per quarter versus end of the year party. We had a couple Denzel Ward signed helmets, Myles Garrett signed helmets, stuff like that. It gets a little bigger.
I want, dude.
Exactly. Everybody wants that.
I might come up for that, dude, with you in person. I'll be honest with you. That you'll have to let me know when that is.
Yeah, we did a Nick Chubb helmet this year.
Did you?
Yeah, and all the money went to St. Jude's Hospital, and we did that for a good 2 months and sold tons of tickets. I was blown away by how many people wanted the Nick Chubb helmet. I figured they would, but it was just crazy. There was even Georgia fans that were like, "No, I want a helmet. I like to buy tickets." So, but glad you got to watch it at I saw some of the food.
Yeah,
we had a giant pretzel. Was it a giant?
Yeah,
pretzel?
dude. Yeah, it was a huge pretzel. Their wings was I found out too late though. Their wings was actually their best quality, man. They were called Thunder Belly or whatever. It was kind of like a sweet heat, but man, they were
okay.
Those are fire, man. That pretzel, if you want a real review, it was big, but like I told my wife, there was no quality to it. Sometimes you get something that's real big, it lacks pizzazz or the magic. So yeah, if anybody you guys saw that on my Twitter, it wasn't, it wasn't superb. Let's just put it that there. The wings were superb there. I'm not going to knock it too much, but man, it was and I've had a lot of pretzels at the stadium. So maybe that's, I'm stuck on the satisfaction of that quality, but I don't know. But yeah, it was good food, good people, of course. But it just, the whole night, man, was just, for a Browns fan, I think wherever you were, Browns backer bar, watching it in your basement, watching it at work, wherever, we deserved that. I know I say that a lot on the show, but we deserved that win, dude. I never really worried, even when they scored on that special teams, return. I got upset. I was annoyed, but I didn't feel like we weren't out of it. There wasn't a time at all that game I thought we were out of it. It was just a creaming, bro. And it brings me to my point of, or just one thing I wanted to say, I heard something really interesting today, from Barstool Big Cat. He was talking about if Flacco can just get hot, if Flacco can stay hot and be like that Jets performance, bro, this team can go anywhere. And I think that was the most exciting part for all of us. I mean, at least for you. I mean, Flacco fever went through the roof, dude. It was, to me, even better than when Baker went off for that first Jets game, dude. It was, I mean, we clinched. When do we ever clinch? When do you ever, dude, when's the last time, dude, you were sitting like this week of football, week 18 coming into it going, oh, we don't got to worry about, beating the Steelers, the Colts losing. How about that?
Yeah, you just control your own destiny. I mean, if you remember, I got nervous when I saw Coop wasn't playing. When Cooper wasn't playing, I was like, oh shit, man, we're really down receiver wise. And I was like, I don't know how tonight's going to play. And it started giving me. Do you remember back in 2020 when we made the playoffs? We lost. We could have clinched that week against the Jets, and that was the week like our entire wide receiver room.
Yep.
They were all in a meeting together, and because of the stupid.
Damn, it was the Jets. It was.
Yes.
The Jets.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is and then we lost last year. How we did. This is that trash owl, that scary owl, like that. What do you always say on the show? The trap game, dude.
The trap game, man. The trap game. You got to get past the trap game. I think our true trap game was the Texans. You just had huge wins at home. You hadn't been playing. I mean, we weren't that great on the road this year. We were only 3. I think we were finished. We had the potential to finish, I think, 3-5 on the road. We're 3-4, I think, right now on the road. So we were going to Houston. CJ Stroud wasn't playing. You had Case Keenum was playing. I was like, man, this feels like a trap game. It's Christmas Eve. But they were fired up that day and kicked ass too. So I see a lot of people talking about this, and we're going to get into that, about this upcoming week's game, and that's resting the starters. And I know Bill Belichick, big thing was he didn't like resting starters. And I know I've seen people show the stat is like if you rest teams that have the bye and rest their starters are like 4-11 or 5-11 over the last 16 games or something like that. But I think we're in a little bit of a different situation. You're not going into a bye, so you're not going to be sitting for an entire 2 full weeks. And you're playing the Bengals, another team who don't have anything to play for. So they might be playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder this game. So you don't want to risk certain injuries. Now you might see guys play and then come out. They might be on a pitch count. But I mean, I'm okay with them resting this week if they decide to do that. How about you, Coltrane? What's your thoughts on the rest this week?
Yeah, I'm a little bit in between. Not too hot, not too cold. I would love a pitch count for a lot of starters. Like Flacco, you can rest. I'm okay with that. Miles, you could rest. But, I still would like to see, Zadarius Smith in there, not to drop names, just even on a pitch count. I don't want them to get too rusty overall. I'm not worried about Flacco. Right now, PJ Walker's and Driscoll are the backups. DTR's hurt. Dude, that's a horrible situation. Again, don't mind them sitting him for the whole game. Don't care if he gets in because he gets reps at practice, bro. He'll get the starter reps, even this week, or half starter, whatever. But yeah, I'm a little bit in between, man. Not too hot, not too cold. Don't just sit I saw some of the depth charts out, bro, for the starters. It's bad. Don't just roll over either. And that's what's interesting about this conversation. Stefanski said earlier this week, that they would, he said earlier this week, basically, they're going to still finish strong, or that's their goal, is to finish strong. So, my thing is, if that's the goal, then that tells me like Cooper should play like a quarter. Like, and I don't mind it. Like especially with Cooper being hurt, if he's good enough to play, he can get a few reps from me, dude. Like I don't want to see us roll over to the Bengals. Like I don't want to see us not play anybody. As I agree with Stefanski. Whether we made the division or not, 12-5 is a very impressive record, dude. And a win. I'm already impressed and proud of 11, but 12 would be like the topping on the cake. Just know, like, all right, dude, we're good. Like we're here. We're definitely a good football team. Especially if our backups were to excel in this game. But man, the way these guys have been balling, these Hickmans and Shelby Harris's, some of these guys, the way they've been playing, dude, these berry pickups, dude, these little band-aids that didn't end up being band-aids. That's what this team's all about, man. That's so, like I said, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. If that explains my, proper evaluation of what I think Stefanski to do. But if I were just a realist, he probably sits like 12 players, I'm sure, easy. And they won't play at all, but we'll see.
Yeah, I would say the guys that are probably going to sit are the ones that you see that get rest days during the weeks of practice, like they always have a rest day.
Yeah,
those are probably the ones you're going to see. Yeah, you're going to see those guys.
We got a lot of hurt. You just said it though. We got a lot of hurt people still on this roster, man. So just get healthy and take it. I'm actually really happy. I was actually telling my wife, even though this game means nothing, the luxury of having this option, dude, to sit some guys is amazing. It's like almost like getting a free buy. And that's the way you got to think about it. Even though we're the 5th seed, which I think is stupid as hell, we earned that. We did earn a week 17 where we took care of business how we did, controlled our own destiny. And we're not like the Steelers where we got to play our ass off Sunday just to get in and hope that two other teams or one other team of the two options loses. So.
And Ohio Individual says Browns will be resting after the first round of the playoffs. Belichick's mentality is a winning mentality. No regular season games is meaningless. All right, for all these Belichick people, I keep seeing Belichick's name out there. Belichick ain't shit without Tom Brady. So I'm gonna let the Belichick lovers out there know. You look at Belichick's record as a coach without Tom Brady, it fucking sucks. He's been mid. Tom Brady is the Patriot way. So let's end that right now. Tom Brady is the Patriot way. It is not Bill Belichick. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick hasn't won a playoff game or barely been to the playoffs without Tom Brady. That's all I'm going to say. He's a good coach, but without Tom Brady, he's been pretty mid. So just remember that. A lot of people want to quote Bill, but Bill didn't do shit until Tom Brady came along. Tom Brady, I mean, when you get a great player in your system like that, I mean, that's what happens. Just remember, Phil Jackson was a terrible coach without Kobe Bryant and Shaq and without Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. When he went to the Knicks, he was terrible. You gotta have those players too. I mean, the Colts rested a lot. They rested their starters a lot too. So I've seen teams rest their starters and win. I've seen Kansas City do it. I've seen teams do it. It's a mindset.
Yeah, I
you
think
can't.
so. Yeah, go ahead.
But what you can't do is you can't put Flacco out there in a meaningless game and he gets hurt.
Yeah,
because you're dead. Like you're not winning a playoff game with PJ Walker, Jeff Driscoll. Sorry.
Well, and look what happened in Miami, dude. Bradley Chubb, their coach is getting a lot of heat for that right now, and do diligently. I mean, very due. Why did you have him in there and guard when the game was well over? Dude, you don't need Myles Garrett in there no more. I mean, in my opinion, even if he wants to play, you're the better man or you're the better coach. You say, hey, Myles, no, you're done. So like I said, I think letting it fester, handful of players. And a handful of players for sure out, but I do think he'll give some reps, and he should. Like I said, I would like to see some reps, like for Cooper. Like, man, you think Moore will be back for playoffs at least?
I don't know that Elijah Moore plays this year personally.
Dude, I hate to hear that, bro.
I mean, just looking at, I mean, Tua had a similar injury last year with the same thing where he had the involuntary convulsions. So I don't know that he plays again this year. You may not see him until 2024 or next season, 2024, not this season.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong, but
yeah, it's a shame, bro. Shame though, what happened.
But I think what you're going to see this week is you're going to see a lot of Cedric Tillman, Marquise Goodwin, David Bell. You're going to see some of those guys.
And PJ Walker.
And PJ Walker. At least give them some opportunity to get a bunch more reps because it's reps they can't get. You probably won't see Hopkins dressed this week. Hopkins is probably not back. You won't see him back till probably the playoffs. They'll roll with that Riley Patterson, and they'll probably let Bjorquez rest another week too, rest that quad. Anybody that's been banged up, may start for a little bit, and then they might come in and play. But I will tell you one thing: the Bengals will be damn embarrassed if they lose to the backups coming in, and sometimes that happens. Like you just assume you're going to get a W, and because you don't know how. Like our backups still have something to play for. They're playing for pride. They know are going to the playoffs. They're having fun. The Bengals have nothing to play for this week. They're playing for Cancun at this point, so you don't know what type of mentality some of their guys are going to have. Even like they're not going to be trying to put their bodies on the line in a meaningless game. You're going to have guys making business decisions, and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to rest guys that are banged up. They're not going to play them. Like everybody's been battling a nagging injury. You're probably not going to see play either. It's a weird game because you haven't seen too many of these this year.
Well, and what you got to say too, brother, is we had that early bye. So like maybe it's needed, like back to your, what you were saying, like maybe or a lot of rest is not good rest, but this might be necessary. I would even tell my wife that, man, this might be necessity, rest. Just what you were talking about,
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting but weird game to watch because I'm like, you watch it, but you're not like stoked to watch it because you're really amped for the following week in the playoffs. And right now, we still don't know who we're going to play yet because there's a ton of different scenarios. We could have, we could potentially either be going to Houston, Indianapolis, or Jacksonville. Which of those three would you rather play?
I want the Jags, bro. I want the Jags, bro. Easy decision for me. I don't want any part of the Colts. They're wishy-washy. Like when they're good, and I don't want their good. And that means offensively too. And the Texans, I don't want no part of CJ Stroud, bro. I don't want no part of him, dude. I think they're a sleeper team. If they get into the playoffs, fuck the Steelers. If that team gets in over like the Steelers ain't going to make a run. Houston is the type of team that could make a run. Good defense, good defensive-minded coach. They can spoiler. They can play spoilers in that wild card round, for sure. So yeah, for sure, dude. They could be a spoiler.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like if I had to pick, I'd rather play Jacksonville because I don't know how healthy Trevor Lawrence is right now.
I don't think he's
kind of limp. They're limping into the playoffs.
I don't think Lawrence is really that good anyway, bro. Like, do you think it's just the injury? Am I being too harsh? But like, I don't think he hasn't been that good lately.
I think he's a good ball player, but I expected more for him. Like the way he elevated his play from his rookie year to his second year, I thought he would elevate it a little bit more in years 3. And I think he kind of took a step back again this year. I mean, injuries will do that too. Their offensive line isn't great either. They have flashy running back ETN, but he's either feast or famine. He's not somebody that's just going to grind on you all game. Calvin Ridley
He feasted us.
Yeah.
He feasted us, bro.
Calvin Ridley hasn't killed it like everyone kind of thought he would this year. But yeah, if you gave me those three teams, I'd much rather play Jacksonville because Indy's got a solid D. They can run the ball. They have a good offensive line, and Gardner Minshew doesn't turn the ball over a ton. Like he manages the game pretty well. And then CJ, like I've seen CJ be elite CJ, and I don't want to play that. But personally, I think it's going to be Jacksonville we play because I don't see them losing to the Titans. Like Titans are out of the playoffs, don't have much to play for. I don't see Jacksonville losing to them. And then it's going to be between Houston and Indy for that one of their wild card spot. The winner of that goes to the wild card. And then all we need from that point is just you need Buffalo to beat Miami. And then that'll knocks Pittsburgh out. No matter what Pittsburgh does, that'll knock them out at least. So it's gonna be interesting. Gonna be interesting for sure how the playoffs end up shaking out. Baltimore just looks scary though. Scary. Did you watch any of that Baltimore Miami game?
Of course, that's the main game I watched on my big screen. I agree with you, but I also agree with what some of the more national podcasts, even Dwight Freeney was giving us a shout out today. Like they're recognizing that if anyone has a shot to take down the beast, it's your own division foe. It's the Browns. A lot of people are picking the Browns as the one AFC team. I've been hearing Browns and Bills, but I've been hearing a lot more of Browns is that team that like, and they're very right, bro. We know the Ravens, dude. So it's like, I'm not cocky. I'm not arrogant. I'm going to be nervous as shit if we have to play them in the playoffs. But do I think that, on paper, me personally, on paper, and call me biased or not, I think our defense is better than theirs. On paper. I'm not saying what they do on the field for that game, but on paper, I think our defense is better than theirs. So with that, we just need a couple tutties, 2 to 3 tutties from Flacco. He has to have, a good game, but yeah, dude, I'd be lying to you if I didn't want to see the Flacco versus Lamar matchup. A lot of people are saying that even on the outside looking in, that aren't Browns fans, the idea of that Flacco going back and imagine if we come out of there with a dub, man, that's just the opportunity to do that. Because they're not going anywhere, bro. Like I think they'll be there no matter what. So whether we play in divisional round or AFC championship, they'll be there. But yeah.
It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting because I see MC Lawrence said the same thing, and I do think like of the teams left, like I definitely think we have the best chance at beating Baltimore. I think all the division rivals tend to play Baltimore the best. Like when they play NFC teams, they just own them. I think they're like 15-1 or something in the last 16 games against NFC teams or something like that.
Yeah.
And Miami is like paper champions, man. They beat up on bad teams, but they're now, I believe, 1-5 on the year against teams above 500 records. Like,
yeah. I don't trust Miami at all, dude. I would if I was playing any bets in that wild card, I don't care who they get. I'm betting the other team. I don't think Miami's worth nothing, bro. It's just like last year, bro. I don't know, dude. Something weird about that Mike McDaniel, but I'm just that Miami team, dude. They annoyed me obviously because we were number one fans this Sunday. They got a lot of injuries, but they're not on the end that we are. They're getting exposed, dude. Lamar was just tossing it up like backyard football, bro. Like, Miami, no way, bro. I'm not saying the Ravens aren't good. I'm just saying it was a mixture of they were playing dominantly and Miami was just stinking up the place, bro. I don't know who they brought out to Baltimore, but it wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't it, bro. That was stinky fish. So thanks again, Miami. Last time I count on you guys. I don't like Mike McDaniel. I don't like your coaching style. It's weird anyway. Been watching a lot of, in-season Hard Knocks. But yeah, Miami, you let us down. You stinky fished us. We're not happy
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, they definitely did this week. Baltimore took it to them. Baltimore took it to San Francisco. I don't know. I mean, you can never going into the playoffs. Like I know Kansas City hasn't played very well. I never count out the Super Bowl champion. They can always flip that switch or turn it on. They have the ability to. Are they, until they're beaten? Like I always look at the Super Bowl champs always the favorite until they're out, till they're no more. And Buffalo has that switch too. Like they have that. If they can find their way again, they have the ability to beat anybody too. So I don't think Baltimore is totally unbeatable. I just think there's a few teams that don't stand a chance against them. Like I don't think Miami can beat them. I don't think Jacksonville, Houston, or Indy can beat them. Well, Indy beat them already once this year. You're going to have a good defense. You're going to not be afraid to blitz because Lamar does not do as well against the blitz. You're going to have to not be afraid to blitz. And you're going to have to take some chances because Harbaugh is going to take some chances. Like John Harbaugh has always been that type of guy, like 4th and short, he's going to go for it versus kicking the field goal or punting. Like if it's within that range, that side of the field, like he's going to play the numbers. It's always funny to me because people talk. Remember when Stefanski first came in and they were like, man, I can't believe they're going with this analytics-based coach and they use all these analytics and blah, blah, blah. And it was funny to me because it was like everybody was like, man, why can't we get a coach like John Harbaugh? And I'm like, you mean the guy who uses the most analytics in the NFL? Like, it was always funny to me. It's like their team literally uses the most analytics and has for years. Like, it was funny how people were so against it at first, but now they're like, and it doesn't always work in your favor either. Like there's been times we've gone for it and not gotten it, or we should have kicked it and didn't. Like last week, remember we didn't kick it, and then everyone was pissed, and then we got the pick 6, so it kind of worked out anyways.
Yeah.
No, let's see.
Thanks.
So MC says our defense is better than theirs too.
Yeah, I agree. I told you on paper, I think we are the better team on D, and we know how to play Lamar. Jim Schwartz knows how to play Lamar. You can't. And the word is neutralize. You can't kill Lamar. He's like Michael Vick. He's going to do Michael Vick.
Yeah.
He's going to do it. But you can neutralize him. And I feel like the Browns definitely, who we have, they know Lamar by now, dude. JOK, put him as a spy. Like we have options on our team that other teams don't, dude. They don't have a JOK. Like they don't have like a 54, Agbo. They don't have guys like that can, and I think he'll be back for the playoffs. They don't have guys like that, dude, that can take care of and just wreck games if they decide to. So, but yeah, I'm feeling good about that matchup, man. I would really look forward to that matchup, dude. I hope we get it.
Same. Drew in Brook City just asked, when is Jason coming off IR?
Drew,
Jason will be back in the offseason. He will be back in the offseason. Jason is out. We've got him on location.
Okay.
He's on. He's reporting from somewhere. He's been at Browns practices every day, scouting for us. So he'll be back in the offseason, and we'll learn about his sabbatical with the Browns this offseason. So, no, but he'll be back this offseason, guys. He actually is started up a business, so he's getting that rolling. And then once he's got that rolling here shortly, then he'll be back with us. He's missing it too. He's been loving missing talking Browns, so he's ready to get back. He's chomping at the bit. He's a little upset because it's been a magical season, so he's missed some good stuff. But we got you guys, and we got
he still watches the games, right? He watches the games at least, right?
Yeah, he watches the games. He's been watching the games. He just works till 8-9 o'clock at night sometimes. Told you he'll be back though. He'll be back. Oh, we got Brian chiming. Okay, Brian says Cavs won after being down 3-1, so the script may be written for Believeland to win the Lombardi. My bet from the end of last season is still in play. Could the Browns win the Super Bowl? I'm gonna tell you one thing. Like, I saw this the other day, and if the Browns did go on a miraculous playoff run and won the Super Bowl, who would play Joe Flacco in the movie Believeland? Which actor would you have played Joe Flacco? You're casting.
Joe Flacco, Keanu Reeves, man.
That's a good one. A little Shane. Hey, footsteps Flacco, footsteps Falco. Well, it's close. It's close.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of who I would have. I said John Hamm.
Yeah, because I've seen Keanu. I've seen him without his like when he has like the short hair buzz cut. Like, I think it would be a good compliment, dude, to Flacco. I mean that's how well he's playing, dude. Is got to respect him.
Keanu always wanted to play quarterback too, because he's been a quarter. What was it in The Replacements? He's playing a quarterback, and then in Point Break, he's also a former quarterback that turned FBI agent.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think that's a good one. That's a good one. So playoffs previews, we kind of talked about that. AFC. I said earlier that I thought Kansas City's locked into the 3rd seed. The 2nd seed, the 7th seed, the 6th seed, and the 4th seed are still up for play. Who do you think wins between Houston and Indy? Who do you got in that game?
Houston,
okay. And Jacksonville, Tennessee?
Jacksonville. I put my house on. Everyone keeps talking about Jacksonville. I just don't see it, bro. They're winning and in it. And Trevor will play, right?
Yeah, I think he's supposed to play. He's supposed to play this week.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Okay. I think.
So
I think that's the pick. What about you?
So I think Indy will beat Houston this week. I think Houston's ready next. Their run is next year, if I had to guess. But I would like to see Houston beat Indy if they could, because CJ's my boy. So if we go with your picks and I go with my heart, I'll go with Houston. I don't see Tennessee beating Jacksonville. So that locks Jacksonville at the 4th seed, and now it locks in Houston as the 6th seed. So now all we have left to figure out is who's the 2nd seed and who's the 7th seed. If Miami wins, they're the 2 seed. Buffalo at that point is the 7th seed, but could get knocked out if Pittsburgh beats Baltimore. I don't see Buffalo losing. Like I said, I think Miami's can't beat winning teams. They're 1-5 against those teams this year. I think Buffalo owns them right now. They have their number, it seems. I think Buffalo gets Miami. So that moves Miami to the 7th seed. And now you have Buffalo in as the 2 seed, which is going to be weird because they're going to play each other then the following week. So that gives our first round AFC matchups as Miami at Buffalo, Houston at Kansas City, and then we got Cleveland at Jacksonville. And I tell you what, if that's the case, Houston's got a good opportunity to go on the road and get a win in Kansas City. We have a great opportunity to go on the road and get a win in Jacksonville. And then I would say Buffalo beats Miami. So who would that match up with us? 2nd round.
Who would match up with us?
Yeah, well, if that happens, if Houston beat Kansas City, Miami or Buffalo beats Miami, and we beat Jacksonville, that puts Houston then going on the road at Baltimore. Then you got Cleveland playing Buffalo in Buffalo.
Why would we play Buffalo? Wouldn't we have a better record than them?
We would be the 5th seed. They would be the 2nd seed. And the only reason the reason why Houston would go to Baltimore is because they're the 6th seed. So they're the higher seed. So Baltimore is always going to play the highest seed.
Damn, you almost want Buffalo to lose then.
I know, but then it gets. I don't want to see Pittsburgh, and they're just like. I just want them dead and gone.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I'm with you. I don't even like Buffalo in. You know what I mean? Like, just keep them out because I think if the Steelers. Here's the thing: I don't want the Steelers to get in, but if they do weasel themselves in like they do every dang season, or most of these seasons, they're a first round exit no matter who they play. They're not going on a run with Mason Rudolph, bro. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe a regular season phenom. He ain't doing dick in the playoffs, man. I just don't see it. So they're one of those teams. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Trust me, I don't want them in either. But if they did sneak in by default and Buffalo's out and they're in, I don't give it. Whoever they're playing, they're losing. That's what I think.
It's going to be interesting. The NFC's had a shakeup too. I mean, Philly a couple weeks ago looked like a clear lock for the number 1 or at least the number 2 seed. Now they're a 5 seed and not going to win. They likely are not going to win the division after losing to Arizona at home. Ooh, they lost to Arizona at home. So the NFC, I think, is wide open. I'm going to tell you right now, of all the teams left in the NFC, the team that's the scariest team that's been hot lately, they're going to have to still win again this week to secure everything. The Rams, man, they've just been on fire lately.
It's that Nakua guy, man.
Puka.
He's like Amari Cooper's, week, but every week,
Yeah, damn Puka Nakua.
Yeah, he tore us up. He tore our great defense up. Remember that? Yeah. One play, ripped us up.
Rams have been hot.
Yeah. Stafford's been hot too. Like I don't know. They started slow, right? They started really slow.
Yeah. Yeah, they started slow. I think they've now won 6 out of their last 7 or 7 out of their last 8, something like that.
Yeah.
So they're on a roll. I mean, Detroit doesn't seem like they're scared to play anybody, and they got a coach that doesn't give a shit, and he's got giant balls.
Dude, for real, that team, if you hate on Detroit, bro, I don't know what to tell you. Like that team, good for them. Like they just like I feel like we have our coach now with Stefanski. Like, yeah, you found your guy, bro. Like you found that guy epitomizes Detroit, bro. Epitomizes it, man.
He's tough nosed. A lot of people gave him shit, remember his speech that he was giving his press conference when he got hired. It was like, my guy's gonna be out there chewing on ankles and biting off kneecaps. But they do it, man. They play hard as hell. They may not be the most talented team, but they'll run the ball all over you. And they had a controversial game, which I'll still go down saying like I felt like they kind of got screwed on that call at the end. I think the ref blew it.
But yeah, they're back for the Steelers Bengals game. They're back.
But they're not in the play. They can't do playoff games. They did.
Yeah, but still, that's a pretty significant game, though. No, at least for us. It's like
they're doing the Steelers Ravens game.
Yeah, Steelers Ravens. Saturday.
Well, maybe they'll screw over Pittsburgh. Maybe they'll screw over Pittsburgh.
I hope so, bro. Somebody's getting screwed. Somebody for sure.
Yeah, I didn't realize like they get like an extra $30,000 a game when they do playoff games. So a big chunk of change those guys are going to lose, and I think you get 50,000 when you do a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So are they coming in then? They're going to be by the book, like, or are they coming like, fuck you guys, we ain't getting that 30 G's no more. Flag. You wonder how they're going to come in.
They're going in
hot or what?
Well, we'll have to watch the Vegas money line and see what's moving and in what direction. Like, wait a second. There's a lot of money going in on this game to go to the over and all, or something like this. See if they can make their money the Vegas style. But yeah, those guys, it's a big deal for them to get downgraded where you don't have a chance in the playoffs, because usually what happens is it's not crews that work together in the playoffs. Usually what they do is they take crews and put them together, and it'll be like this is the best umpire, this is the best referee graded out, this is the best line judge, and then they mix and match them. None of their entire crew has a chance at getting in any of that. No matter if they're like, could you imagine you're the side judge and you're like, man, my marks have been expert all year long. I'm ranked top 5. I'm definitely getting a playoff game. And then because of your head referee, you get screwed out of money now. I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I would be pissed, but we do have to land this plane here shortly. What was it? Broken Arrow said, Lions fans have my empathy. I would love it. That would be my dream Super Bowl, to see the Lions and the Browns in it, because even if we lost, I wouldn't feel bad. I would be like, oh, good for the Lions. I would hate for us to, like, our first Super Bowl ever, like, we go play San Francisco, a team that's won like 5 Super Bowls, you know, and we're playing.
Yeah, I agree.
So what day are the Browns playing on? That has not been announced yet. We play this Sunday, of course, our last regular season games, 1:00 against the Bengals. Playoff games won't get announced until that Sunday night game.
Is Jacksonville, is that a time change then? So at least it has to be at 4:00, right? I would think.
Which one?
Jacksonville. It would, if it's Jacksonville, it would have to be at 4:00 then, wouldn't it?
It could either be Saturday, because there's 2 games. The playoff games there's 2 on Saturday. They think there's one at 4:30 and one at 8, or one at 5 and one at 8:30. And then you have 3 games Sunday.
I wonder how they distinguish that too. Like, who gets the prime time game? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder how they figure that out.
They do it off of ratings, because this is my biggest fear is, and I don't think we would get it. I don't want to play in that Monday night playoff game, because then you have the short week the following week. And I don't think we would get it if we were matched up against like Jacksonville.
What is it? 2, 2, and 1 then? Is that what it is? 2 Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
We have 2 Saturday, 3 Sunday, and 1 Monday.
Oh, 3. So I got you. 3. Okay.
And then the following, then it goes to 2 and 2. So it's 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday.
Okay. Wow. It's coming up, man. It's getting exciting talking about this with you.
I know, man. I just like having the opportunity, man. Like, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season, guys, Deshaun Watson's going to break his shoulder, you guys are going to go 11-5, and Joe Flacco is going to get signed, and you're going to make the playoffs. Oh, and also Nick Chubb's going to miss most of the season, and you're going to lose both your left tackles, your left and right tackles twice. and you're going to make the playoffs. I would have been like, you are full of shit. Like, you are full of something. No way. So I'm enjoying this ride. I know it will come to an end eventually. I'm hoping it'll, come to an end with the Super Bowl, but when it does come to an end, it will be a fun season. And I think we definitely have something to build on going into next season. But I'm living in the now right now, focused on one game at a time, or as Stefanski always says, it's a great opportunity to go 1-0. Final thoughts before we close the show, Coltrane, on this season?
Yeah, I mean, everybody just enjoy the ride, man. I'm seeing a lot of posts, Flacco or Watson next year. What do we do? What do we do? Guys, let's just enjoy the ride. Like I mentioned earlier on the show, when have you ever said to yourself, this time of the season, don't lie to yourselves, guys, and you haven't looked at a mock draft, and you're already talking about the draft. You're actually sitting on your phone wondering who we're going to play. When have you ever done that recently, man? I mean, it's an amazing feeling. Enjoy it, fans. Enjoy it, everybody. It's just a great time to be a Browns fan. I don't want to talk about Watson. I don't want to talk about Flacco. Let's just talk about the team and what we can really do here. We can really go on a run, man. So I'm with you, man. In the now, enjoy the present, everybody. That's my thought.
Live in the now, baby. Live in the now. But yeah, we got the Barking Browns is coming up next right after us with Nick Cons, Jacob Roach, Casey Kinnaman. They got a fire show coming up here at the 8:00 hour. We appreciate you guys, as always, tuning in.
Yes, again, happy holidays, happy New Year.
Baby. And we like to end all of our shows with a 1, 2, 3, go Browns. So on the count of 3, if everybody will join me, 1, 2, 3, go Browns.
Brown.